Hey guys, Jeff Winchester with the Catching Clinic, and I got a pretty interesting topic to talk about today, and I'm sure it's going to cause a little controversy. It's something that has been brought up to me on occasion, and I want to hear your thoughts about it. The default setting that young catchers have in regards to their coach wanting them to receive pitches is that their coach wants them to set up right down the middle of the plate. Okay, so when they set up, they're in a position to where they are directly in the center. And he's got a young, inconsistent pitcher. What happens is we wind up chasing pitches away from the central part of the plate, right? So if it's going on a right-handed pitcher, or even if he just throws it in and it comes in, what happens is the young catcher who's setting up right here in the center, what happens is we wind up pushing everything away from the plate. And what we don't want to have happen is we don't want to have this presented to the umpire as if it's a ball, right? Same thing with a pitch that's to the outside part of the plate. If you're set up down the middle, then what happens is you begin to rotate away from the center, and now that pitch that's running away gets caught like this, and we're pushing that ball away. And I know what a lot of the coaches of young players are thinking right now. Well, we need to get our pitcher to throw the ball over the plate. That plate's 17 inches wide. 99% of the times, if the ball goes over the plate and it's up in the strike zone, not below the strike zone, because that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about a pitch that's knee high, above the strike zone, no question it's high enough to be a strike. But if it comes over the plate, chances are it should be called a strike, no matter how you're catching it. So the truth is that a young pitcher usually doesn't need a whole lot of help from your catcher if he's just simply catching the ball when it passes over the 17 inches of the plate. Why not put him in a position where he might get him some help? For example, let's say we're trying to get this pitcher to throw in. Now, I understand he doesn't have the greatest of accuracy, but if we put a catcher, maybe a setup to where it's a ball or two off the plate, well, now I might have the ability to take a pitch that's caught on the outside part of the plate and catch it working back towards the plate, working towards the center. It could very well turn that pitch that would traditionally be called a ball if I worked away. Now that I'm set up here, I catch it and bring it back. Now it almost looks like it's a strike. Same thing if I'm going away to a righty into a lefty, okay? Let's say I'm actually set up off the plate a little bit more, and I go to catch a ball that's 2 balls off the plate. If I have the ability to receive it and bring it back, well, now it almost gives the umpire the impression that it is over the plate or on the corner, and it's more likely to be called a strike if I'm working towards the center of the plate versus setting up down the center and going to catch that pitch as I push away. I get a lot of high school coaches that talk to me about young catchers, and one of the main problems that they talk about is that on the pitches that are crossing the plate, let's say from a righty slider or a righty fastball, these young catchers are catching the ball, they're going away. They're pushing that ball out away from the strike zone, and they're taking strikes away from the pitcher. Well, we have the ability to maybe present that a little bit better if we move around, right? So if we move off the plate either direction, he's got the 17 inches of being over the plate to be called a strike. What about being able to expand that plate about 2 or 3 ball widths off the plate and present it to the umpire as if it's over the plate? Well, now we just took a plate that's 17 inches and quite possibly expanded it to 30 inches, depending on how far the ball is off the plate. 20 inches, depending on how far the ball is off the plate. So the truth of the matter is, are we doing ourselves a justice if we just set the young catchers up behind the plate, and now they're catching everything moving away from the center versus maybe moving them just a touch and having them able to catch that outside pitch or inside pitch and maybe work towards the center. So let me know what you think. I know it's a little bit controversial. I know that a lot of coaches will probably disagree with that concept. They're going to want the pitcher to throw the ball to the catcher's glove right over the middle of the plate where we have 8.5 inches on each side or whatever. It's an idea. Maybe it needs to be talked about a little bit more, but I would love to hear everyone's comments and thoughts about it. So let me, until then, stay. It's Jeff Winchester with the Catching Clinic. I'll catch you next time.